All right. Once again, welcome to our session 3. Dr. Stella Hunger. It's going to be an amazing, phenomenal, and congratulations for how far you've gone and how we're going and how fast we're going and the mastery and the impeccable skills that you're developing every day, and the presentation is getting better all the time. So today we're going to be looking at 9 great ways to deliver a talk, right? That's phenomenal. 9 things that we're going to be studying today that can enable you to deliver powerful presentations. You'll be so amazed that we're going to discuss some of these very key things that will help us to build up upon what we have been seeing in the previous sessions. And so, without any ado, I will immediately start with the first one. The first one is the headline. That's the topic of your presentation. The topic of your presentation. Yeah. That's number 1. All right. So I would just want you to get all the 9 and then we can discuss, right? Okay. Number 2. Number 2, passion. 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 Passion is important. Let me talk like South Africa. Passion. Passion is very important. Number 3. 3 easily memorable points. 3 easily memorable points. Memorable. That's number 3. Number 4, metaphors and analogies. Metaphors and analogies. Number 5. Number 5, demonstrations. Demonstrations. Number 6. Are we together?
Yeah, I didn't know I was muted. So you said number 5 was what? Demonstrations?
Yes, number 5 was demonstrations.
Okay.
Number 6, partners.
Okay.
Number 7. Number 7 is customer evidence. Customer evidence.
Mm-hmm.
Number 9, video clips.
No, number 8.
Oh, number 8. Yeah, number 8 is video clips.
Okay.
Number 8, video clips.
Mm-hmm.
Number 9. Number 9 is props.
Prompts?
Props.
Okay, props.
Yeah. Props. Number 9 is props. All right. So we are going to kick off from there. Okay. Okay. So let's start with number 1. So, but I want you to watch something here. There's this video that I want us to watch. and then we'll dive deeper into it. Have you watched Steve Jobs Stanford University lecture, please?
No.
All right. Okay. Let's look at this. Steve Jobs Stanford University. Oh, okay. All right. All right. Let me share this because that's gonna be what we'll be discussing in all the points. That's what we're gonna be discussing.
Okay.
Yeah. So you just watch it and then let's pick up from there. Okay.
Thank you. I'm honored to be with you today for your commencement from one of the finest universities in the world. Truth be told, I never graduated from college, and this is the closest I've ever gotten to a college graduation. Today, I want to tell you 3 stories from my life. That's it. No big deal. Just 3 stories. The first story is about connecting the dots. I dropped out of Reed College after the first 6 months, but then stayed around as a drop-in for another 18 months or so before I really quit. So why'd I drop out? It started before I was born. My biological mother was a young, unwed graduate student, and she decided to put me up for adoption. She felt very strongly that I should be adopted by college graduates, so everything was all set for me to be adopted at birth by a lawyer and his wife. Except that when I popped out, they decided at the last minute that they really wanted a girl. So my parents, who were on a waiting list, got a call in the middle of the night asking, "We've got an unexpected baby boy. Do you want him?" They said, "Of course." My biological mother found out later that my mother had never graduated from college and that my father had never graduated from high school. She refused to sign the final adoption papers. She only relented a few months later when my parents promised that I would go to college. This was the start in my life. And 17 years later, I did go to college. But I naively chose a college that was almost as expensive as Stanford. And all of my working class parents' savings were being spent on my college tuition. After 6 months, I couldn't see the value in it. I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life and no idea how college was going to help me figure it out. And here I was, spending all of the money my parents had saved their entire life. So I decided to drop out and trust that it would all work out okay. It was pretty scary at the time, but looking back, it was one of the best decisions I ever made. The minute I dropped out, I could stop taking the required classes that didn't interest me and begin dropping in on the ones that looked far more interesting. It wasn't all romantic. I didn't have a dorm room, so I slept on the floor in friends' rooms. I returned Coke bottles for the 5-cent deposits to buy food with. And I would walk the 7 miles across town every Sunday night to get one good meal a week at the Hare Krishna temple. I loved it. And much of what I stumbled into by following my curiosity and intuition turned out to be priceless later on. Let me give you one example. Reed College at that time offered perhaps the best calligraphy instruction in the country. Throughout the campus, every poster, every label on every drawer was beautifully hand calligraphed. Because I had dropped out and didn't have to take the normal classes, I decided to take a calligraphy class to learn how to do this. I learned about serif and sans serif typefaces, about varying the amount of space between different letter combinations, about what makes great typography great. It was beautiful, historical, artistically subtle in a way that science can't capture, and I found it fascinating. None of this had even a hope of any practical application in my life. But 10 years later, when we were designing the first Macintosh computer, it all came back to me. And we designed it all into the Mac. It was the first computer with beautiful typography. If I had never dropped in on that single course in college, the Mac would have never had multiple typefaces or proportionally spaced fonts. And since Windows just copied the Mac, it's likely that no personal computer would have them. If I had never dropped out, I would have never dropped in on that calligraphy class, and personal computers might not have the wonderful typography that they do. Of course, it was impossible to connect the dots looking forward when I was in college, but it was very, very clear looking backwards 10 years later. Again, you can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards. So you have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in your future. You have to trust in something, your gut, destiny, life, karma, whatever, because believing that the dots will connect down the road will give you the confidence to follow your heart, even when it leads you off the well-worn path, and that will make all the difference. My second story is about love and loss. I was lucky. I found what I loved to do early in life. Woz and I started Apple in my parents' garage when I was 20. We worked hard, and in 10 years, Apple had grown from just the two of us in a garage into a $2 billion company with over 4,000 employees. We just released our finest creation, the Macintosh, a year earlier, and I'd just turned 30. And then I got fired. How can you get fired from a company you started? Well, as Apple grew, we hired someone who I thought was very talented to run the company with me. And for the first year or so, things went well. But then our visions of the future began to diverge, and eventually we had a falling out. When we did, our board of directors sided with him. And so at 30, I was out, and very publicly out. What had been the focus of my entire adult life was gone, and it was devastating. I really didn't know what to do for a few months. I felt that I had let the previous generation of entrepreneurs down, that I had dropped the baton as it was being passed to me. I met with David Packard and Bob Noyce and tried to apologize for screwing up so badly. I was a very public failure, and I even thought about running away from the Valley. But something slowly began to dawn on me. I still loved what I did. The turn of events at Apple had not changed that one bit. I'd been rejected, but I was still in love. And so I decided to start over. I didn't see it then, but it turned out that getting fired from Apple was the best thing that could have ever happened to me. The heaviness of being successful was replaced by the lightness of being a beginner again, less sure about everything. It freed me to enter one of the most creative periods of my life. During the next 5 years, I started a company named Next, another company named Pixar, and fell in love with an amazing woman who would become my wife. Pixar went on to create the world's first computer animated feature film, Toy Story, and is now the most successful animation studio in the world. In a remarkable turn of events, Apple bought Next, and I returned to Apple, and the technology we developed at Next is at the heart of Apple's current renaissance. And Lorene and I have a wonderful family together. I'm pretty sure none of this would have happened if I hadn't been fired from Apple. It was awful tasting medicine, but I guess the patient needed it. My third story is about death. When I was 17, I read a quote that went something like, "If you live each day as if it was your last, someday you'll most certainly be right." It made an impression on me, and since then, for the past 33 years, I've looked in the mirror every morning and asked myself, if today were the last day of my life, would I want to do what I am about to do today? And whenever the answer has been no for too many days, days in a row, I know I need to change something. Remembering that I'll be dead soon is the most important tool I've ever encountered to help me make the big choices in life. Because almost everything, all external expectations, all pride, all fear of embarrassment or failure, these things just fall away in the face of death, leaving only what is truly important. Remembering that you are going to die is the best way I know to avoid the trap of thinking you have something to lose. You are already naked. There is no reason not to follow your heart. About a year ago, I was diagnosed with cancer. I had a scan at 7:30 in the morning, and it clearly showed a tumor on my pancreas. I didn't even know what a pancreas was. The doctors told me this was almost certainly a type of cancer that is incurable, and that I should expect to live no longer than 3 to 6 months. My doctor advised me to go home and get my affairs in order, which is doctor's code for prepare to die. It means to try and tell your kids everything you thought you'd have the next 10 years to tell them in just a few months. It means to make sure everything is buttoned up so that it will be as easy as possible for your family. It means to say your goodbyes. I lived with that diagnosis all day. Later that evening, I had a biopsy where they stuck an endoscope down my throat, through my stomach and into my intestines, put a needle into my pancreas and got a few cells from the tumor. I was sedated, but my wife, who was there, told me that when they viewed the cells under a microscope, the doctors started crying because it turned out to be a very rare form of pancreatic cancer that is curable with surgery. I had the surgery, and thankfully, I'm fine now. This was the closest I've been to facing death, and I hope it's the closest I get for a few more decades. Having lived through it, I can now say this to you with a bit more certainty than when death was a useful but purely intellectual concept. No one wants to die. Even people who want to go to heaven don't want to die to get there. And yet, death is the destination we all share. No one has ever escaped it. And that is as it should be, because death is very likely the single best invention of life. It's life's change agent. It clears out the old to make way for the new. Right now, the new is you. But someday, not too long from now, you will gradually become the old and be cleared away. Sorry to be so dramatic, but it's quite true. Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. And most important, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. Everything else is secondary. When I was young, there was an amazing publication called the Whole Earth Catalog, which was one of the Bibles of my generation. It was created by a fellow named Stuart Brand, not far from here in Menlo Park, and he brought it to life with his poetic touch. This was in the late 60s, before personal computers and desktop publishing, so it was all made with typewriters, scissors, and Polaroid cameras. It was sort of like Google in paperback form 35 years before Google came along. It was idealistic, overflowing with neat tools and great notions. Stuart and his team put out several issues of the Whole Earth Catalog, and then, when it had run its course, they put out a final issue. It was the mid-1970s, and I was your age. On the back cover of their final issue was a photograph of an early morning country road, the kind you might find yourself hitchhiking on if you were so adventurous. Beneath it were the words, "Stay hungry, stay foolish." It was their farewell message as they signed off. Stay hungry, stay foolish. And I have always wished that for myself. And now, as you graduate to begin anew, I wish that for you. Stay hungry, stay foolish. Thank you all very much. Thank you. I'm honored to be with you today for your commencement from one of the finest universities in the world. Truth be told, I never graduated from college, and this is the closest I've ever gotten to a college graduation. Today, I want to tell you 3 stories from my life. That's it. No big deal. Just 3 stories. The first story is about connecting the dots. I dropped out of Reed College after the first 6 months, but then stayed around as a drop-in for another 18 months or so before I really quit. But why'd I drop out? It started before I was born. My biological mother was a young, unwed graduate student, and she decided to put me up for adoption. She felt very strongly that I should be adopted by college graduates, so everything was all set for me to be adopted at birth by a lawyer and his wife. Except that when I popped out, they decided at the last minute that they really wanted a girl. So my parents, who were on a waiting list, got a call in the middle of the night asking, "We've got an unexpected baby boy. Do you want him?" They said, "Of course." My biological mother found out later that my mother had never graduated from college and that my father had never graduated from high school. She refused to sign the final adoption papers. She only relented a few months later when my parents promised that I would go to college. This was the start in my life. And 17 years later, I did go to college. But I naively chose a college that was almost as expensive as Stanford. And all of my working class
Okay. The video has ended, right?
Yeah, it ended and then it started all over. Yeah.
Oh no. Yeah. All right. Maybe you just want to share what you picked up from the video before we dive to our plan.
Yeah. So I like the fact that it started by him trying to connect the dots of his life. Dropping out of college. He stated that he dropped out of college before he was even born, which means that his parents had already set up a stage for him that he ended up dropping out of college. That was what his parents. I mean, his parents started up the stage, but it was a good thing because out of it came out from him now trying to find himself, to start doing what he was doing. And I like the fact that he got fired from Apple because after that, that is when he got connected to his wife. And I think the last thing that he said to the students is that they should, no, before that, he said something about death. He says that you have to live your life as if you were going to die the next day. And you need to ask yourself, what you're trying to do, is it worth doing? If that was a last day, the last chance that you've been given to live. And so it makes me to think very well that if I was supposed to leave just the next hour, the next minute, what I'm doing right now, how will it affect me, or how will I look at things differently? He's been diagnosed of cancer. I think that it was also a, a a means for him to start looking at life in a different way, and that really changed the way he perceived life. Yeah. So I think the last part when he said that you have to, um, I forgot what the quotation. You have to finish. Is it finish now or something?
Stay hungry.
Stay hungry, and
Like stay safe and stay curious and stay hungry, something like that.
yes. So that really makes me to want to continue to learn in life, continue to put more effort. So we cannot just say that we have reached a certain level, because at that level is when you can begin something.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I need to stay hungry.
And stay curious. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go back to number one out of the 9. What was the topic? Do you know the topic of this talk?
Yeah, it's the headlines of
Yeah,
my speaking engagement.
I love that. So remember, the first thing we talked about was number 1, headline, the topic.
Headline.
Yeah, and what is the topic of the talk that you just did?
I'm sorry.
What's the topic that he talked about? Stay hungry and stay. From this talk, what can you say as a theme of this talk or this presentation, please?
Of the Steve's
Yeah.
presentation.
Yes.
What is his main capture?
Yeah.
Yeah, is to be focused. I would say be focused in life, or never give up.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, that resonates well. That resonates. Stay hungry, stay foolish. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Stay hungry, stay foolish. That's a topic.
And
And
yeah, he ended with that. Stay
yeah,
hungry. Yeah.
and that was actually his topic. That was actually his topic. I did that. Uh, from from the headline. What next do we have in your notes there?
Oh, we have number 2 is passion.
I love that. Did you sense passion when Steve was talking about? Oh,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
that's it. Don't talk about something you're not passionate about.
Right.
Yeah. And your story, you're passionate about your story because you experience it, right?
Right.
Nobody reported the story to you. So it is your story. So you experience it. So that's why you're so passionate about it. And the good thing about passion is that when you're passionate about something, the audience will feel it.
Mm-hmm.
They'll feel it. Yeah, they'll feel it. And when they feel it, they connect faster and easily.
Right.
Yeah. So as a speaker, I generally say that don't talk about something you're not passionate about.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, I don't know if you're passionate about politics. I'm not too passionate about politics. So if you're talking about politics, you might not have the kind of passion that you have when you're sharing the gospel, talking about
Right.
Jesus. Yeah, yeah. So it's so powerful. Most of the time, speakers are not passionate on the stage because the things they're talking about, they're not the things that they have lived. They're not the things that they have experienced. They're not the things that they feel it. That's why they're not passionate. And so one of the ways to stand out is being in passion on the game. And then you'll be amazed. What's the next thing in the item before we start developing your talk?
Three easily memorable points.
Okay. How many stories did he share?
Three stories.
Excellent. You see that? Do you remember any of the stories that he shared?
Yeah, the very first story was how he was adopted
Great.
by his adopted parents. His parents gave him away because he wasn't a girl. And you know what? It kind of connects with me because, I'm the second in the family. The first is a girl.
Oh.
And when I was born as a girl, my
Mhm.
father refused to go to the hospital to see me because he was expecting a boy. So when he went to work, his co-workers asked him, his colleagues, they asked him, they said, "How is the baby and the mom doing?" And he said, "Forget about that, because it's another girl. What am I going to do with girls?" So I did not go to the hospital. So his colleagues told him, they say, "How terrible can that be? Don't you think that with this, God can even punish you to give you girls?" And that was the story, because the third was a girl, fourth was a girl, fifth was a girl, So, but then, my dad kind of fell in love with me more than the other children, just because I think his conscience told him that he shouldn't have neglected my birth. Yes. So Steve talked about how he was being sent for adoption by his parents because he wasn't a girl, and that touched me so much. And then his adopted parents, actually, when they discovered that his parents had not even graduated high school,
Mhm.
they tried to give up on him because, I think they wanted a child. They said your DNA follows you anywhere you go. So I think that resonate with his story, as he mentioned that his adopted parents didn't even want to take him because his biological parents had not even graduated high school. But then they had promised him that he will definitely go to college. When he went to college, he had to drop out. And the reason why he dropped out is just because he saw that they were spending too much money, and he did not even know how the college will help him.
Mhm.
So from there, you start seeing how stressful he was, walking 7 miles to go get food from a church to eat. But through it all, he had this connection whereby he started, building, was employed with
Oh,
the Mac computer. That really makes me, because I've always loved to have
oh, nice.
Mac brand of computer.
Yeah. Apple.
You
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, in Apple, but that Mac,
Mhm.
specifically Mac computer, was what really interested me.
I love that. Yeah.
So that part of his story alone, makes me to feel that in life you need to be very, very intentional.
Mm.
Yeah, you have to be very, very intentional.
Mm.
Um, he was very intentional to drop out of college,
Yeah.
and he was very intentional to starting what he started with Apple. And we see that he was very successful. Not every dropout can be successful as him,
Yeah.
because there are other dropouts
Very
that are
true.
still struggling today, and it's because they have not been able to find themselves. But through his challenges, Steve's challenges in life, through this story, he found himself, and he was able to pursue that, and that took him to a higher level.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There we go. What's the next point on your agenda? The next thing in your list.
Metaphors and
Great.
analogies.
Yeah. Do you remember the definition of a metaphor back in secondary school in those days?
Yeah, a metaphor. It's something that you it's something that relates with reality, but you say it in a way that people might use it to think. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So it's it's just like a rhythm, right?
Mhm.
Like you say something that's,
That people can relate to in the different culture.
yeah,
Yeah.
they can
For instance,
refer to it maybe in your story or in something that happened in real time.
mhm.
Hmm.
Okay, you say something like every afternoon lunch in McDonald's when I've not cooked. And for those who don't have McDonald's in their countries, McDonald's is a little bit like the cafeteria that you have beside your house in Africa, where you go and order tea and two eggs, right?
Hmm.
That remember they say the metaphor is comparing two things with the use of as or like. So that's metaphor. And so the metaphor is very important because it helps you to speak across cultures. It helps you to be cross-cultural in your
Hmm.
communication. Now, when you are speaking to people in America and you are telling them that when you're in college, in secondary school, you eat only in cafeterias. You go and eat only in cafeteria. I bet you that um, they will not get you. Many of them will not understand what you're talking about, right?
Hmm.
And if you say something like cafeteria is a little bit like this, think about it like McDonald's, where if you go $5 and $10 and $20, you have food to eat. That is it. Because with
Hmm.
cafeteria, if you go with 500, 250, 150, you still have a cup of coffee and maybe a small bread, right? So what's the point?
Right.
Your point is that you are talking to people in America and you are giving an example from Africa, but they will not understand that example from Africa because they were not with you in Africa.
Right.
Yes, so we want to bring a context to what you're talking about. And if they can see that what you're talking about, which is a cafeteria, which they open only in the mornings and evenings, they will
Right.
understand that, oh, it's a little bit like McDonald's, which is like a cheapest
Yes.
restaurant where you can buy anything. So that and metaphors are so powerful when you are
Mhm.
speaking because anytime you are telling a story about a place where the people listening to you did not go, you must give them a context that they can relate to.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, that's so powerful.
Mm,
If you don't do that, if you don't do that, the people you're talking to them, they will never understand you, especially when you are an international speaker.
right.
Yeah, powerful.
Okay.
Number four, what's the next point? That was our point
Yeah.
three.
It's demonstrations.
Yeah. So demonstration, I love that. We'll come to that. Demonstrations. Demonstrations are very important. Um,
Mhm.
can you remember any sermon where somebody preached and demonstrated using people, stand on the line, an object, a tool, whatever?
Yeah, I remember a sermon by Pastor Noel Jones. Had to speak and called one person who stood in front, and he was demonstrated. He was demonstrating to the people how God can keep you in a hard situation, but does not leave you. You know, so he uses it like a towel. He covers the man's head,
Mm,
and then he says that when God cover you, is for your enemies not to destroy you while you're going through your challenging time. And when you have finished your challenges, no, once you're going through the challenge, every now and then the Lord will open, and then he opened that sheet and said the Lord will open and check you and see and tell you that didn't I tell you that I will not leave you, I will not forsake you. And at that period, he fortifies you. He gives you power to keep on going through the challenge that you're going through. But um once you have reached your breakthrough and you have achieved what God wants you to achieve, he opens you up and he pulls out the towel and he said, now you can tell your story of testimony. That, see, when I was going through this, the Lord held my hands. When I was passing through this, the Lord delivered me, and now I have come to testify how good the Lord is. So it was very profound. It was very profound.
When was that?
I'm sorry.
When was that?
When?
Which year? Which year or month?
Oh, that's a long time. I think around 1999, 2000, something like that. When I watched that sermon, it's on YouTube.
That's it. So how comes that you watched the sermon long ago and you still record it? That's it.
It's because of the demonstration.
Thank you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And illustrations, analogies, very powerful.
Yes.
So go back to your message right now. Think about this. What objects can you use and how can you illustrate your message? Anytime you'll be speaking about your story, how can you demonstrate or illustrate it? Yeah.
I think
Think about
I need to think about that. Yes.
yes, that's very important. Let's go to point 5. What do you have there?
Point five. No, point five is demonstration. Point six is partners.
Excellent. How do you think you can partner while you're on the stage?
Partnering.
Yeah, partnering with third parties, partner with other people. One of the best way to partner on the stage as a speaker is to use quotes. All right. When you are speaking and you say Nelson Mandela once said, and you bring his quote,
You're
his
right.
quote. When X once said, you bring her quote and all that. That is a way of partnering. Why do we partner? We partner to demonstrate authority, to increase trust. So when
Right.
you use the quote of Nelson Mandela, people trust you more when you're using the quote of somebody who is.
You're breaking up.
You're not using his. Oh, I'm breaking up. Sorry, my
Yeah.
internet. You hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. How is it now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Much better.
All right. Yeah, I think it's going to be over in a few while, in a short while. So you're using the quote of people not because you cannot use your own quotes. It's simply because that's authority, right? If you want to talk about leadership, you love to use whose quote? John C. Maxwell. That's like the leadership guy. If you want to talk about um, public speaking, you can use people like Tony Robbins, Brian Tracy, right? You want to talk about ministry, religion, you can use people like T.D. Jakes,
Yeah.
Pastor Chris. You can use people like Dr. Tony, Priscilla Shearer. You see? Why? Because you know that these are authorities. And when you say that this is what they said, this is what they said, and you quote it, it adds more weight to what you're saying.
Yes.
So partnership has to do with using people's resources, information, what they say, right? Bringing
Yes.
people on the stage to use them to demonstrate the point you are making.
Yes.
Yeah. What was number 7?
Number 7 is customers evidence.
Yeah.
Is it
So,
customer? Yeah, customer evidence.
yeah, customer evidence. So the point there is, as a speaker, how do you share a testimony in a very strategic way to get more clients without sounding like you're selling? Right? How do you do that?
I think I can tell the best part of me,
Uh-huh.
and
Okay.
I can also share the best part of somebody, like like what you just did, like the video you showed me
Yeah.
of Steve.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I love that. Yeah. You can show the video that in your presentation today. I'm going to share with you something is like a secret that you can use in your presentation to get more opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Get to the next point.
Uh, Video clips.
Video clips. Yeah. What do you get by understand by video clips?
You can show like a short clip of somebody, a very short part of it that connects with your story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's really powerful. Yeah. So at times when you want to start your talk, you can start your talk by showing a video, 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minute video that relate to what you want to talk about. When people watch, that's an entry point. That's a way to enter with your talk.
Mhm. Mhm.
Start with your story. Yeah. That's another way to start your talk. And then finally, what do you have?
Have props.
Okay, props. Okay. I love that. So props are a little bit like you can use a file, you can use an object, you can use a touch, you can use money, you can use a piece of cloth. Those are props. Right.
Mhm. Are you still there?
Hello, Doc. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh,
Been here. I
yeah,
don't know what
miss. Sorry. Uh, I was transitioning. Sorry about that.
happened. Okay.
Yeah, my laptop charger, I had to.
You are frozen.
So, hello, Doc. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, nice. Yeah. Sorry. The laptop, I had to charge it, so it's kind of disturbing. I want to
Mhm.
put on the charger and restart it.
Okay.
Yeah, just 1 second, please.
Sure.
Dun, dun, dun. All right. Have you been able to rehearse your presentation?
No, I didn't have time to.
Okay.
When I was
So
watching
today we're
the,
gonna do like the whole presentation that you did last week, and then using these things we have learned today, the 9
I don't think
elements of.
I don't think I'm gonna be able to. I'm so tired.
Okay, sorry, I didn't get you.
I said I'm not sure I'm gonna be able to. I'm so tired.
Oh, okay. You're so tired today.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry about that. All right, so we've seen the 9th element, which was we've seen props. And I was saying that props here has to do with elements. Like the last time I showed you, like for instance, this is a prop, right? A
Right.
prop could be anything, like literally anything that you can use to demonstrate to people and let them get what you're talking about, get the point, let the point cross across. Because people think and remember mostly in terms of pictures, not just stories. Have you noticed that? Have you ever experienced that, please?
Yeah. Is it the same thing like last week we spoke about? I said I was gonna use like a globe.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That globe now is your prop
Mm-hmm.
for this presentation. For this presentation, the globe is your prop. Now, one thing I want us to look at it at this point is um, what illustration that is already a prop. So with that prop now, we have to figure out the kind of illustration you can use. It can either be yourself alone or somebody on the stage to illustrate that.
Mm-hmm.
So let's look at that. Do you think that you can be able to hold a globe alone or handle that alone as a prop, or you think you can need maybe somebody to demonstrate to use the person to demonstrate your prop? Are you the one to hold the prop, or you need somebody to hold it with you?
I can hold it myself, and when I'm finished, I can keep it down, or I can use like how do they call it, the uh how you put pictures on the wall and then the globe is turning.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
So you
I
can
get
use
it. Like
a projector.
the projector, I get it. So okay, you can put the globe in the projector like a picture. Is that what you mean?
No, not a picture. Like you can have a green globe, so just spinning like in a video, just spinning, a globe spinning.
I get your point. All right, not like physical, right? You don't necessarily have to have a physical globe. Is that what you mean?
I don't really need to. If I have a projector, I could use a projector, or I can use a little globe that I have. But that one will be, I think it is anyhow it could be. Yeah, I can hold it if I don't have a projector, or I can use a projector if it's available, depending on the location or what they have available for me in any stage that I'm speaking. If they have a projector, I would like to use a projector.
I love that. Yeah. I think that is a very good one, and it makes a lot of sense to me.